Islam, Islam, Islam. Hotep, Hotep, Hotep. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Alafia, alafia, alafia. Que paso, que paso, que paso. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Power to the people, power to the people, power to the people. Royal rising, royal rising, royal rising. I hope that everybody is in high vibrational energy, a peaceful state, balanced within themselves, and seeking to be their best self each and every day. This platform is Moorishe Thought, where we share knowledge, wisdom, over and understanding into the science of self. Today, your host, Doctor Bey, the authority, Chief Justice Durand Murrell Bey, in capitis, diminutio, nolo, in red ink, in propria persona, juris, in proprio, heredes, and in proprio, proprio, heredes. Hold on. I put these on. Again, I am Chief Justice Durand Murrell Bey, in capitis, diminutio, nolo, in red ink, in propria persona, juris, in proprio, solo, and proprio, heredes. My free chosen national appellation is Ogunwole, Supreme 7, Solution Ill, in capitis, diminutio, nolo, in red ink, in proprio persona, juris, in proprio, solo, and in proprio, heredes. We are the original indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American descendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites and Canaanites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural, divine, ancient empire state of Morocco, and the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government. We hereby exercise all sovereign rights at this time and at all points in time, non-pro-ton. We are the most ancient sovereign court, both at heaven and at earth. All right, family. Today, I'm going to read chapter 3 in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Ali, by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stages of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Okay. Last time we finished chapter 2. Now we'll be going to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life. I will begin. Again, this is Moorishe Thought, where we share knowledge, wisdom, and over understanding into the science of self. Again, Elihu met his pupil in the sacred grove and said, "No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing." Family, I can't express enough how profound, how essential and how impactful that instruction is. Okay? No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. And that's one of the reasons, because if it weren't for that, we wouldn't be in the condition that we are today. And the reason why we're in the condition we are today is because of this essential, natural fact or truth, okay? Because we have so much influence on each other to where if we see somebody doing something, it has the power to influence others to repeat it either consciously or unconsciously. That's the reason why the monkey demonstration is so important. See no evil. When you spot evil, you're supposed to turn your head away. When you see evil, you're supposed to correct it in your mind so it won't take root. This is the level of protection that a conscious man has. Okay? And when I say man, I want ones to know that I'm talking about the woman and the man, because they both man. It's in the word. Okay? So when I say man, I'm not just talking about man, you know. Well, in a lot of situations, I'm not. And I would specify when I am talking about a man, and what I say will clarify that as well. But it's very important that you take on that level of responsibility of protecting yourself, okay? And that's the reason why it's good to go over these lessons, to understand what's being said. I'm gonna read that again. No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. We are attached by spirit, or we are connected by spirit. Okay? Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed or blissed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. Why would you demand love when love is freely given? It's not love if it's compelled or forced or expected. It's not love. It has to be genuinely, willingly, and sincerely given to be pure. And the only way that it can genuinely, sincerely, and willingly given is if it's sincerely, genuinely, and willingly accepted within oneself. Because you can't love nobody unless you love yourself. The same way, I can't give you something that you need if I don't possess it myself. Okay? It's a universal fact. They would not do to others No, they would not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them. In other words, they don't do that tit for tat thing. Okay? I'm going to treat you as I want you to treat me. And you know what? It takes courage, it takes strength, it takes tolerance, it takes endurance to continue to show love to people that don't show love to you. And that's what makes it so powerful, so profound, so pure, so sincere, and so genuine. Because a lot of people don't deserve your love. I'm going to say deserve because they haven't earned it, but yet it's so natural that you can give it, and guess what? They won't receive it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the proof is in the pudding. They can't receive love unless they have love. And the reason why they can't receive it is because you can't receive something that you don't identify with. Okay? And love is not material. In other words, I can give you something out of love, but it don't mean you receiving it in love. You just receiving the material thing that I gave you, but you miss the energy behind it, which is love. Because you don't know love. You got to know love to receive love. It's like if you don't know accounting, you can't receive a certificate in accounting. If you don't know plumbing, you can't receive a certificate in plumbing because you haven't been certified, because you don't have the knowledge. Okay? Just give you a couple examples. There are two selves, the higher self and lower self. This is where the Most High Mother and Father, this is where Allah, this is where Lord Amari, this is where Jah, this is where the Most High Mother and Father, I think I said that first, gave man a will to choose. The choice is to operate from your higher self or operate from your lower self. To do good, to be righteous, or to be evil and do wrong. Leaning towards your own understanding. Okay? Your own understanding is your independent understanding, I'm going to say. But no, I ain't going to say, no. It's kind of touchy right there. Dependent versus independent. No, it's not a good word. I'm going to say your selfish self. Okay? Where you don't consider nobody but you. That's the low. That's your lower self. Your higher self, which is your God self, your loving self, your peaceful self, your high vibrational self, that self is going to be considerate to everything. Why? Because they're mindful that every living thing is bound by, of course, every other living thing. And what they do, what they say, and what they think, they know is going to affect the next person. So they're going to be mindful what they think, because they know what they think is going to come out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to manifest in their deeds. Okay? So they're going to be a grown-up about everything. People that are not mature are operating in their selfish self, and they're going to do what pleases them, regardless what anybody else has to say about it, or think about it, or even how it may affect them. And I know that fits a lot of you all to some degree or another. Okay? But in any degree, you're operating in your low. And you can't serve two masters. Okay? Keep that in mind. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. The lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. It's distorted by your desires. It's distorted by your gratification. It's distorted by your pleasures. Okay? Because we tend to get caught up and want to excess in the things we eat, consume, whether it's physically, mentally, and we lack the discipline to cut it off. And I like using marijuana for example, because it's been such a struggle for me, but I done got extremely better. Okay? I'm saying extremely. Because you got some people that will roll up a blunt and they'll smoke it. Then after they get through with their blunt, they'll roll another blunt and they'll start smoking that. And after that, they'll roll another blunt and they'll smoke that. And they'll just keep smoking and smoking and smoking. Non-stop. And they don't understand or overstand that is excessive. That's abuse. And people will look at me, and I'm going to keep it all real. I always keep it real. I still smoke periodically, okay? But now what I would do, and just to make sure it hit me right, I don't have to pick it up and light it again, I hit it again, and I'm putting it out. And I'm enjoying my high for the period of time that it lasts before I pick it back up and light it again. And even sometimes, even though it's, how some people, when the high start to go down and they're not as high as they was, they'll pick it back up and hit it. I often remind myself, let it go all the way down. You know what I'm saying? To where I don't feel it no more, almost. You know what I'm saying? But I'm preoccupied too. I'm not sitting around idle. I'm doing something constructive. I'm doing something positive. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't always been able to do that, even though I have performed similar for some years. It's just years ago, and maybe even months ago, and that depends on who I'm around, versus me being by myself, okay? When I'm by myself, and that's the reason why I really don't like to indulge in anything like that with other people, because of that influence. You know what I'm saying? That influence, it's a biggie if you're not mindful, okay? But by myself, I used to hit, and sometimes maybe even a third time, So I won't have to pick it up again for a minute. But what I would do about a year ago, when it started to go down, I might pick it up and hit it again. Not 3 times, but maybe twice, because that's all it takes, because I'm already still there. And the purpose of that is to be conscious not to abuse, not to allow something to control you, but you control it. And there's been times in my past where I would find myself using it more than what I normally do, and it'll bother my conscience to the point where I'm like, man, I got to back up off this. You know, and the average person would think, man, you ain't even smoked nothing, you tripping. And it's not that I'm tripping, I'm being mindful of not to allow something to get the best of me, okay? And another aspect, the reason why it bothered me, because I'm always doing something constructive. I'm always doing something positive, or majority of the time. 97% of the time. And I say 97 because the 3% I might indulge in some TV, movie in particular, or I might indulge in Xbox One, you know, I might go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? That's constructive too because of exercise, but just to name the things that I don't have to do that's downtime, you know, okay? So that's making my point that I do, most of the time I'm doing something constructive. And when I'm doing something constructive, I will handle my business first to get my work done. And then I will hit something when I call myself going to watch a movie or play a game. You know what I'm saying? So the recreation, while I'm doing my recreation, I'm in a state to where it don't require me to have to figure anything out. Where when I'm handling my business and doing my work, being constructive, I want to be able to think clear, okay? And I'm gonna keep it real with myself. I can't think clear when my mind is clogged up with smoke, okay? So and especially sometimes you run into some herb that will make you drowsy because it relaxes your mind. And if it relaxes your mind and you trying to be active, you're creating a conflict, okay? Depending on the type that you get, it affects you different. And if you run into that type, it bothers me because I'm very sensitive when it comes to me being responsible, me fulfilling my obligations. I don't like to lack, you know. So I cut something off quick if it start to get in my way, you know, and pick it back up later, you know, after I made my point to myself. You know, but that's the battle that I go through with my high and my low, so to speak, you know, because it's not necessary, but it has its aspects to where it could take you there, but it has its down. And that down, when I experience that down, I don't like it, you know, sometimes, you know. In just those moments, you know, I would judge it so harshly because I indulged to the point where I allowed something to not only affect me one moment in a positive, but it affected me in another moment in the negative. And I still wrestle with that. That's the reason why I treat it like I do now. Very, very little. And eventually, I may, which I look forward to because I have bigger responsibilities ahead, to just cutting it out to the point where I only may indulge when I'm wrecking, where I go on a vacation, or during the weekend where I'm not working, or whatever days I choose to take off, because that's how serious I am about my obligations and responsibilities. I don't like nothing to interfere with it. And I don't want to influence nobody in a negative way. And for a long time, I wouldn't even do videos if I was high. I didn't want to influence y'all in such a way. Y'all seeing me and I didn't like it. And then other times, I'm like, you chose to do it, you got an obligation, man, get on there and speak to the people. And I get on there and I speak to the people and I perform the best that I can, and deal with it since I chose to indulge at a time when I'm supposed to handle my responsibilities. But see, when you become conscious, you pay attention to everything and you have to battle because Satan, the devil, the dragon, and all things that harm can come through when your mind is at a low point, okay? Depending on your foes, okay? But only you know you. Only you supposed to know you. And only someone that knows themselves supposed to know them and identify with others, because we are a reflection of one another, okay? In the same way with alcohol or anything else you consume that alters your mind. But some people are comfortable being in a high state 24/7. They don't care about other people they influence because they don't realize that they can influence people who have obligations elsewhere. And if you influence them, then you will be the cause of them messing up somewhere, all because of your example, your bad example, your negative example, your low vibrational example. But you're not mindful, so you don't think nothing of it. You don't know. And they say that Allah look out for babies and fools. Okay? So maybe Allah is looking out for you. Maybe he'll spank you. You know what I'm saying? The ones that get spanked, you're blessed because he corrected you and gave you an opportunity to clean up and start to be mindful because he's got a purpose for you. Or there's somebody in your life that you need to set a better example for. Okay? Just give it to y'all. I hope that was beneficial to you all or to someone. The lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. I read that. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is a live man and will not pass away. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind. If you're dealing in your high, however you're dealing, it's like you're going to be prosperous forever. Okay? Everything going to go pretty much good and right for you. Okay? But if you operate in your lower self, whatever you're doing, you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through changes. And all of them may not be worse, but they're going to be bad. And when I say bad, low vibrational. Okay? gratifying, pleasing, but it's going to be confusing, animosity, fights, conflicts. And some of y'all, that's y'all life. That's what y'all used to. And y'all call that the norm. Y'all don't know nothing about the high. Don't know nothing about no love, no truth, no peace, no harmony, no balance, no equilibrium, no high vibration, peace of mind. Yeah. Can't imagine. Okay? The higher self is the embodiment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed, and so is falsehood manifest. Okay? The higher self is justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is what the higher self is not. Complete opposites. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. When you vibrating low, understand you open the door for the devil. You open the door for Satan. That's like opening Pandora's box. It's like calling the devil up. He's going to have something wicked, diabolical, low vibrational for you. And some of y'all into all that. The higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. See, some of us into that, because once we got a taste of that, you're talking about a different addiction. You know what I'm saying? Can I call it an addiction? Or let's just say good habit, okay? The lower self is rich in promises. It means a whole lot of lies. Get your hopes up and then bring you down. And I ain't talking about up as far as high. Get your hopes, your expectations rattled to where you think you got something coming and it never comes. But poor in blessedness and peace. Poor in blessedness and peace. That's like being poor in money. You don't get much of it. Very little at that. Okay? So when it comes to blessings, you probably get one every decade. Okay? Messing around with that low. And peace of mind, no. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. So all you get to experience, unrest, misery, and that's why some of y'all go all day just negative after negative come out your mouth. And the people around you, negativity, y'all just a ball of confusion. And y'all think that's normal. Y'all used to this every day. It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell, but the core is full of bitterness and gall. It's like you meet somebody that look good. As soon as you bring it to your house, y'all get to know each other. Y'all fighting, arguing, cussing. Woo! I don't even want to think about that. If you would ask me what to study, I would say yourselves. And when you have well studied them, and then would ask me what to study next, I would reply yourselves. Okay? Learn about your high and your low. Learn about your high and your low. In order to over understand what you consist of, what you're capable of. It's good to know. Just in case you want to change your mind and go from low vibration to high vibration. Or, which I doubt it, some of y'all might don't want peace no more. And you want to go back to confusion. Can't imagine that, but I can't say it happened. Because I don't know anybody that was actually at peace and went back to confusion. He who knows well his lower self knows the illusions of the world, knows the things that pass away. And he who knows his higher self knows Allah, knows well the things that cannot pass away. Thrice blessed is the man who has made purity and love his very own. He has been ransomed from the pearls of the lower self and is himself his higher self. Thrice blessed is the man who has made purity and love his very own. Because once you purify here and love here, and it manifests in your words, your works, and your deeds, your whole environment changes. And if you can maintain that, you are your higher self, because if you your higher self, people gonna get away from you. Confusing people, conflicting people, wicked people, devilish people, it truly saves you from those kind of people. I bear witness for the most part, but in every aspect, depending on your journey. Because some people's journey, you might have some residue still around you, which is going to draw certain low vibrational people. Until you clean that residue up in you, them people going to keep being around, And as soon as you clean up, they gone. Because it's an expiration to that until you learn your lesson. Or, like I said, clean up. Men seek salvation from an evil that dims a living monster of another world. And this is out of ignorance, out of indoctrination, out of the programming. And they have gods that are but demons in disguise, all powerful, yet full of jealousy, hate, and lust. We worship how people look, what people wear, what people have, not looking at the people themselves and the conflicts and the drama and the pain they bring through being caught up in what you see that they got. So all y'all that be, y'all just gold diggers, and womanizers, I know y'all done bit off more than what y'all can chew. So if I was you, I would stop biting and start paying attention to the man or woman and not just what they have. If you're looking for peace, if you don't like drama, you can avoid the danger of the one. Wait a minute, how you go? Yeah, avoid the danger of the one, and thou shalt escape the mischief of the other. Don't get caught up in what you see. Look beyond what you see and get a double blessing by getting a good man that got some things, or a good woman that got some things. But in order for you to be recognized as a good woman, you got to be a good man. In order to recognize a good man, you got to be a good woman. And that way you'll deserve the things that the other gives you. Because that ain't what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for a mate that you can enjoy life with on all levels. The physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And it's got to be all three. It can't be just one. That ain't how life works. We operate on a three-dimensional plane simultaneously. whether you're conscious or unconscious. Okay? Keep that in mind. Whose favor must be brought with costly sacrifice of fruit and of the lives of birds and animals and humankind. Because you sacrifice yourself when you get with somebody just because of what they have. You give up a part of your soul because you worship the material things. And what comes with those material things usually cause you to live a life of unhappiness, misery. And yet these gods possess no ears to hear, no eyes to see, and no heart to sympathize, no power to save. The jewelry you see, the money that you see, the clothes you see, the shoes, the cars, the houses, the boats, the motorcycles, they don't save. It's not in those things that make you happy. And if you don't know, you're going to find out. This evil is a myth. These gods are made of air and clothed with a shadow of a thought. The only devil from which man must be redeemed is self. Because that was your devil self, your selfish self, that chose that man because of what he had. And you told him you love him. You know you ain't love nobody. You gratified all the things you seen that he possessed, you know. And he knew it, but he liked how you looked too. He lied to himself when he said he loved you. And when he found out that you was playing him, he gonna have the nerve to get upset, or vice versa. But y'all get stuck with each other because y'all like the pleasure, but y'all don't like each other. You got some of y'all in relationships right now that you're not happy in because you think that this is the way it's supposed to be, because this is what you've seen your parents go through. So you subject yourself to go through the same thing, not knowing that there's better. But you didn't believe in better. That's why you settled for less. You shall reap what you sow. If man would find his Savior, he must look within. And when the demon self has been dethroned, the Savior of love will be exalted to the throne of power. The David of the light is purity, who slays the strong Goliath of the dark and seeks the Savior of love upon the throne. As if you're a follower of truth, you'll let the David of the light overcome the Goliath of your darkness and seek love on the throne. And if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're going to get. But you got to have right knowledge. You got to have a clear conception. You know, you got to be right within yourself. Means you got to get right. Means you got to clean up. You know what I'm saying? You got to clean up. It's like me right now. I'm going to leave it alone. Peace, love, and happiness. I hope that my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding was inspirational, motivational, and inspiring to you towards you being your best self. And I hope that the knowledge or the divine instructions that I read from was enlightening, was profound, was motivational, and divinely inspiring to you and move something in you that leads you to seek more. Because the more you get, the more you will have to use to change your life around. because the truth shall set you free. And if that's what you want, that's what you will get. Peace, family. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday, which is the second day of the strong, because ain't nothing weak about us. Peace.